Hello girls, gays, and non-binary babes. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name's Boston. Today, we are doing round 3 of female books that don't suck. So, if you're unfamiliar with this, it's kind of jarring at first. You're like, what's that title? The hell does that mean? Basically, a common complaint that I see about sapphic books, female books, is that, well, there's just no good ones. That's a lie. We're now in video 3 of this. I have a 4th video already started, like a couple books already for that list, because I want to keep this short, like, not short, but I don't want to have like 20 books on this in each one, because then these videos would be too far apart and we can't have that. Anyway, let's jump into it. I'm very excited to talk about these books. But yeah, here's round 3 of female books that don't suck. Okay, so the first book that I have is The Last True Poets of the Sea by Julia Drake. This is a contemporary. This follows a girl who is going to live with her uncle for a summer, and her uncle lives in this very small town, which is where her ancestors kind of founded the town. So she's going to live with her uncle by the sea, and when her ancestors came over, basically they were the only 2 survivors of this shipwreck. And so there's a lot of lore in here and very oceany vibes. So she's trying to figure out, I think she's trying to find this shipwreck. She's very interested in it. She's very interested in where she comes from. And at the same time, she meets a bunch of new friends and she works at an aquarium. I really liked it a lot. The female romance isn't as like prominent in this, but it does play a big part. And I thought it was really cute and I was rooting for them the whole time. So yeah, I really like this one. So next up, I have another contemporary. We'll just kind of go by genre, I guess. We have contemporary, fantasy, and 1 sci-fi. So that's kind of how we'll divvy it up. But the next contemporary that I have is The Falling in Love Montage by Sierra Smith. This is basically a 90s rom-com in a book, and it was super cute. I had a lot of fun with it. It follows our main character who meets this girl. She really likes 90s rom-coms. You know, in contemporaries, the main character will have a thing that they like, and that kind of plays out throughout the book. Same thing with this. So basically, our main character gets into a no strings attached summer fling with another girl. Like I said, super cute and really good if you're a big fan of 90s rom-coms. Okay, final contemporary we have for today is You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. Everybody, I'm pretty sure, knows about this book. I don't think I have to talk about it for very long, but if you didn't know, this is sapphic. It's super cute. It's about our main character who is trying to get prom queen to win a scholarship to this school, because she's like short a little bit of money, and the, you know, prize for winning prom queen would be that amount of money. So she's trying to get prom queen. She's not the most popular girl in school. I remember when I was a senior, I was not the most popular person, but me and my best friend at the time tried getting prom king and queen. But yeah, it really reminded me of my senior year, and even though this was a bit more political than just voting for a prom king and queen, you know, there's actual like prize money involved and there's a whole thing. It's basically like a pageant of sorts. But yeah, super cute. Also, the love interest in this reminded me of Max from Stranger Things. It's basically how I pictured her. Fun fact. It wasn't necessary, but I figured I'd throw that in there. Now we're gonna talk about the 1 sci-fi book, and then we'll move into fantasy. So let's just get that out of the way. Okay, so the 1 sci-fi book that I have is The Weight of the Stars by Kate Ingram. This is is more of a contemporary sci-fi. I feel like it follows our main character, who is the sole provider for her family, and she is going to school, and her guidance counselor her teacher asks her to befriend this new student because the new student reminds the teacher a lot of the main character when she first started going to school, you know, kind of like problems with like frustration and stuff like that, and like feeling alone. You get the gist. But she ends up befriending the love interest, and she finds out that the love interest is trying to contact her mom, who went to space basically right after she was born. So she's never really met her mom. So she's trying to contact her via radio signal, and she does this every night, and so they kind of bond over this because the main character helps her. It's very cute. Highly recommend it. And if you're kind of wary about the sci-fi genre, I still recommend checking it out because it's very light on the sci-fi side. So yeah, don't worry about that. It's more of a contemporary sci-fi, if that makes sense. Time for fantasy, which arguably these are some of the best on the list. We're saving the best for last, and we're gonna save truly the best for last. So if you want to see my favorite out of these books, stay till the end. If you watch my channel, you might know what it is. But anyway, first we're gonna start with The Dark Tide by Alicia Jasinska. This is a fantasy about a girl who lives on this island, and every year this island demands a sacrifice. So the witch queen that is in charge of this island, she has to fall in love with somebody, and then she has to sacrifice, usually him, to the sea. They tie them to a post, and they let the sea, like, they tie them to the post, and this is the one night a year where the tide is like big and it drowns them. It's a whole ordeal. Very very aesthetic. That's how I want to go out, to be honest. But this year's a little bit different. I won't go into too much detail. But yeah, I really like this one. It's full of dark, witchy vibes and an ocean with a mind of its own. So next up on this list is Girl Serpent Thorn by Melissa Basher-Doost. This follows a girl who is poisonous to the touch, and she's been raised her whole life knowing this, and she wants to not be poisonous to the touch anymore. So she sets off on this quest to not be poisonous, and that's really only half the book. It's very distinct, set into two kind of sections. The first one follows that. I won't get into what the second one follows because spoilers. But yeah, we'll leave it at that. I loved the romance in here. It was so unexpected, and I was like, oh, that's what we're going with. Okay, all right, I'm cool with that. It was really cool. It was really interesting. I've never seen a fantasy book done like this before, like separated into two parts and done that way. I think it was super interesting. I really liked it. It's a standalone, so I appreciated the author not dragging it out into two books, which she very easily could have done, you know, get that coin, but she didn't need to. I appreciate that. So next we have The Scapegracers by Hannah Abigail Clark. I really love this, y'all. This was so much fun, and I really like how this looks with my sweater. Not gonna lie. This is about a girl who gets hired to, she's in high school, and she gets asked to do a magic trick, a magic show for a party, and she is magic. She can do magic. She's a witch. And so when she does this, she gets herself into the popular girls at school. She gets herself in with them. They become like a coven of sorts because they are also magic. It's super cool. It's a lot of fun. They solve a mystery. They try to solve a mystery. They start solving a mystery. This is a series, in case you're wondering. But yeah, I really like this. It's more of a contemporary fantasy, contemporary with like a fantasy spin. So if you're interested in that, then I recommend this one. Also, the second cover is gorgeous. It's white with like this foiling. So if you're a cover buyer, there you go. Come get y'all juice. The final book, and my personal favorite on this list, is The Midnight Lie by Marie Rakowski. I always do that. This is a YA fantasy about a girl who is very low class, and she meets this traveler. She's doing some nefarious things. She gets thrown in jail. She meets this traveler who is in the cell next to her, and they come up with a plot to find magic in this world. That's what the traveler's looking for. The main character is like, you seem like a cool gal. I'm gonna help you. And it follows, this book in particular follows her meeting the love interest, and then her finding out that her position in the world, her class, is not what it seems. The person she works for, the person she was raised by, is not who she seems, and her whole life is a lie, and it follows mainly that. I assume the second book will get more into the magic part of this book, but part of the series, but the magic in here was pretty subtle actually, but I still really liked the way it was done. It was super unique, and I really liked it. I liked that it, you know, made a statement about class and that sort of thing. So yeah, definitely one of my favorites of the year. Check it out if you haven't already. It's really, really good. Okay guys, so that is going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your favorite sapphic books down below, and if you watched this far, leave me a pride flag emoji in the comments. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching and joining me today and on this lovely journey of female books, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.